everybody and welcome back to Flock.Talks. Today we're going to be laying back and answering some of your comments. It's been a little while since we've done one of these videos, so I figured I'd go through and pick some of the comments and the questions that I see most often and just go through and kind of answer them and have a bit of fun with it. So comment number one here is that a lovebird? Is it a parrotlet? Is it a budgie? What is it? What species is your bird? This one is repeated so often, and I've said it before and I'll say it again. That question is in reference to little Mia over here, who is on my left-hand shoulder. She is 7 years old. She is a parrotlet. She is not a lovebird. She is not a budgie. She's not a canary. She's been called a lot of things. She's not a parakeet. Mia is a parrotlet. Specifically, she is a blue mutation Pacific parrotlet, which basically just means that the species that she is a Pacific parrotlet, and the color that she is blue. Newt, on the other hand, is a maroon-bellied conure. He is actually very likely a hybrid between a maroon belly and a green cheek. We don't really know his history, and it's not necessarily worthwhile trying to test it and figure it out because the two species are so similar anyways. But we consider Newt more of a maroon belly than a green cheek. He just presents more of those behaviors and more of those mannerisms. Newt is about 2-3 years old now. Can a dehumidifier replace an air purifier? This question was asked on my bird room tour video, where I just kind of quickly went over my bird's air purifier that's in their room. As far as I'm aware, no, a dehumidifier cannot. There might be hybrids nowadays that do clear the air as well as just reducing moisture from it. But generally, no, dehumidifiers just take the humidity and the moisture out of the air. An air purifier reduces small particles and pollutants and things from the air that your birds aren't supposed to be breathing in. Birds require a HEPA air purifier, which reduces like really teeny tiny pure little particles that makes the air cleaner for them. Just because birds have really sensitive respiratory systems, you need or should have a air purifier that's pretty good quality, that's going to keep all the little pollutants and things out of their environment. Because, you know, obviously in a household there's being exposed to all sorts of chemicals and things that they wouldn't normally be exposed to, and just generally the dust in a very confined space can start causing problems, so you want to have that actual air purification there to remove all those particles. What treats are you feeding them? So these comments are often left in all of my training tutorials. I feed them a variety of treats. I like to give my birds a lot of different options when it comes to rewards because they all have different preferences. So by giving them those sort of things, they don't know what treat is coming, they don't know if they're getting a sunflower seed or if they're getting millet. So it kind of keeps them a bit more engaged, a bit more excited, because it's not super predictable what's going to be happening, what they're going to get, and it can just make the whole situation a little bit more exciting, a little bit more engaging, which is what you want when you're getting into a training session. That being said, I have done a whole video on treats before where I go over different sizes of treats, different types of treats you can use, and I go over and explain all those sorts of different things. So go check that out if you want to know more about that. But generally what I'm feeding my bird as treats is usually sunflower seeds or millet. The sunflower seeds I take out of the shell and I put them in my food processor to break them up into really tiny pieces. You just want lower fat, and because sunflower seeds are quite fatty, you want to give them a really small portion of it. That's why millet is already really nice, because it's a low-fat seed and it's already nice, really tiny pieces. Really, you can use whatever treat or reinforcer your bird takes to. Just make sure it's a quick bite-sized amount. You don't want them sitting there munching and munching and munching and having them forget why exactly they've earned that treat. Where did you get your cages? So this one was asked a little while ago as well, but I've had the same cages for as long as Mia's been around pretty much. The cages I got in Vancouver when I was living over there. They're from what's called the West Coast Tropical Bird Studio. The cage is called the Duplex. However, I don't believe they manufacture that cage anymore. If you wanted something similar, you can usually look up Finch flight cages or double-decker cages, and you'll find pretty similar results. Queen of the flock. In all seriousness though, I am not the queen of the flock. I'm not a bird whisperer, which I've seen people call me a few times. There's nothing secret or special about what I do with my animals. Anything I do, you guys can do too, which is why I do training tutorials and why I give you guys advice and tips on how to do it, because anyone can be as good at communicating with their animals as I can. There's no real major secret to it. It just takes time, it just takes learning your animal, it just takes that sort of background knowledge for you guys to understand their body language, and you can have birds that do as ridiculous crazy things as mine do. This one kind of goes along with what I was saying. I don't know why, but your bird is nothing like ours. Yours seems fully trained. If so, you're doing a really good job on it. I even want to come to the topic that I got my male in March and my female in April. Now, I'm recording this in the first week of May. So keeping in mind that means you've only had your bird for a month or two. It takes a while. You got to consider that it's going to take about a month for your birds to even really feel comfortable around you, and then it's going to be another month of you building good foundational skills. Mia is 7 years old. I've been training her for 7 years. She's had 7 years of background being trained. She's had 7 years of learning how to interact and be a good little bird. Newt is 3-ish years old now. He's had 3 years of learning how to interact with me and how to step up and how to learn all these things. He's had 3 years of a lot of training. It's been 2 months. Give your birds some time, give them some credit. What I see a lot is people saying that like, oh, your birds are so smart and mine are so dumb. It honestly disheartens me to see those comments, because your birds are just as smart as mine. There's nothing different or special or weird or unique that would make mine smarter than yours. The only difference is that I'm teaching them. And really, as long as you take the time to teach your birds and show them things and set boundaries and rules and be consistent, your birds can learn the exact same amount of things that mine can. It really just takes time, it takes patience, and it takes you learning how to teach them. Good. Good. Great. Fantastic. Cool. Do you have an Instagram? I do. We started one up last year. It's Flock.Talks on Instagram, Flock.Talks. Flock.Talk was already taken. Over there the content is a little bit different though. The Flock.Talks Instagram is more kind of my daily life sort of thing, where it does have a lot of photos of the birds. It also includes my dog, my cat, and my fish tank. So if you don't want to see dogs, cats, and fish, as well as the birds, the Instagram might not be where you want to be. But I do post little things on the stories there. I'll post little updates on when I'm presently editing videos. I'll do little sneak peek clips and things like that. So if you want to see that sort of content, definitely hop over there. But again, if you don't want to see dogs and me training my dog and things like that, you just want to see birds, the Instagram is not going to be for you. The Tumblr is specific to birds. It is flock-talk.tumblr.com. Oh my god, I feel like I'm doing nothing wrong. People at pet stores know nothing. This is a very common thing I see, and I just want to make it very clear that when I give out information, when I say kind of, don't use these products and things like that, I'm not trying to be mean, and I'm not saying, oh, you suck, you're doing this terrible thing, or oh, you have a mirror in the cage, or oh, you've used grit. Everybody had to start somewhere and make those mistakes. None of us have gone with a fully flawless line of pet care where we've never made a mistake or done the wrong thing or fed them the wrong diet. It's nearly impossible to say that you have been that perfect throughout the entire time that you've had your birds. The whole point of me doing this is to say that, oh, these things are common mistakes, these things are really popular to do, but more recent research shows that they may not be the best thing to do. But please don't use me as a sole source of information. All I'm trying to do here is be a bit of a guide that gives you kind of concepts and ideas and contradictory things to give you the knowledge to maybe think about it twice, to go and do some more research, go check out some new books, go online and find new forums, find new different articles, go and read and be a bit more in depth about it. So I'm just kind of here trying to say, hey, here's the way things are usually done. What about this new piece of research? What about this new concept? What about this new way of thinking? And hey, you should look into that. You should go do more further research into this and see if that's the way you think you should take care of your bird. All I'm doing here is kind of trying to provide different ways of thinking and trying to get people to think a little bit more critically about the way that they take care of their animals. I am in no way trying to say that, oh my god, you're doing everything wrong, and make you feel bad. That's not my intention at all. The whole thing about pet store employees is really hit and miss. I have worked in 3 different pet store chains personally, and they all have different degrees of training. For a few of them, I've actually written the guides for the bird care departments. Like, it's kind of really hit and miss. Some of them don't have all that much training at all. They more focus on the retail side of it, and then they just kind of hope that you're going to be able to wing it and get it to work. There are some places that do have pretty good training, that do give you backgrounds on nutrition. It really just depends where you go, but like anything, like I say with myself, if you hear something or somebody tells you something, don't just take their word for it. Take that knowledge home and look more into it. See if you can find new updated information, see if you can find, you know, things that support their claims, but don't just blindly follow what they say. Every source is going to be different, and you want to have as many supporting sources for you to be able to really form your own opinion and things like that. What happened to the other parrotlet? So if you want to watch me bawling my eyes out for 15 minutes, I did make a video on it, but this one's been cropping up a lot lately, and it's might just be because we just passed April. ZB was my other parrotlet, and she passed away. I did explain in the video what happened, but basically she became egg-bound. We did everything we could to reduce any hormone stimulants, but she still decided to try and lay an egg anyways. She produced an egg bigger than she was supposed to, and she went into surgery to have it removed. The surgery actually went okay, but something went wrong afterwards when she was recovering from the anesthetic, and she just didn't wake up. So, do you cut their wings? I do not. I do not personally cut my birds' wings. In many cases, my birds were rescues and they came to me with already clipped wings. But when they get into my care, I let them grow out. I don't personally want to clip my birds' wings. I don't personally agree with it. I'm not gonna get into that huge debate at this point in time. When I decide to do that, I need to be mentally ready for it. Right now, I wouldn't say I'm mentally stable enough to handle the amount of hate and aggressive comments that could come from doing a video on how I feel about wing clipping. I'm not mentally prepared to deal with that amount of debate at the moment. I taught my bird how to spin today, but now he just keeps spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning. And first off, yes, I would love to just see your bird spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning. This happens a lot when you teach new concepts. It usually happens significantly more when you've just taught their first trick. Technically, this is begging behavior. So you've taught the bird that spinning gets them a treat, and so they're gonna learn whenever they want something that spinning is probably gonna get them there. Because right now, all that they've learned is doing this one behavior earns them a reinforcement. So they're gonna keep repeating that behavior over and over and over again, hoping that it's going to get them what they want. If you were looking to stop that, whenever they spin and you haven't asked for it, just ignore it. They'll start learning that spinning randomly doesn't get them anything, but spinning only when you ask for it does earn them the treat. Can you make a budgie taming and training video? So I've done a video on target training and I've done a video on teaching step up. Those are the only two I can really do about taming and training because I do all of my training videos with birds that don't know the thing already. If I were to do a video on taming and training, my birds already are tamed and trained. It wouldn't be very helpful. I might make one that's kind of like what to do on the first week of bringing a bird home, but otherwise I don't really plan on it. The other thing I'm going to note here is that I see a lot that are like, oh, can I teach this to my budgie? Can I teach this to my lovebird? Can I teach this to my canary? Do these things apply here, here, and here? Yes, they do. Just because I'm taming a conure, or just because I've taught a conure a trick or a parrotlet a trick, they can all learn it the exact same way. The only exceptions where tricks can't apply are when the animal isn't physically capable of it. An example might be that you can't really teach a canary to hang upside down by 1 foot because they don't have zygodactyl feet. They aren't designed to hang that way. That's something the bird isn't physically capable of. Otherwise, if your bird is physically capable of moving in a manner that allows that trick to happen, you can teach them how to do it the exact same way I'm teaching the birds how to do it. The concepts are pretty universal. It doesn't matter if it's a budgie or a lovebird or a macaw. It's the same process. So that is all the comments I had picked out today. I hope that those answered some of your questions. and got all the information out that it needed to, and I hope that the people who asked the questions actually get to seeing the questions that they asked to be answered. But otherwise, if there's any other questions you guys think are really important or things that you would like to know, leave a comment down below and I will get to them as soon as I can. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!